Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, and thank you very much to the National Center of Excellence in Physical Chemistry. This center have always been a very encouraging venue for research activities, and most of the faculty members are our very nice colleagues, and we are collaborating for several years now in various disciplines of research. They are helping us, we are helping them, and research is basically a mutual collaboration. The specific topic today I selected was new trends in material research. And who knows, because the world you see around you is because of materials. When the man didn't know to mold, to engineer the natural clay, people used to be living in huts, wood-made huts. When the man learned to mold clay, when the man learned that when you put water in clay, you can shape it, and that led to the development of mud-based houses. When the men learned that they can bind together sand with the help of cement, it transformed your houses into cemented, hard, blocked and bricked houses. But if you look into the history, the human history, when people didn't know anything, they are called prehistoric people. When the man, and maybe the woman as well, excelled in stones, they made their tools from stones. They dug out rocks to make rooms in them. And when they excelled in optimum utilization of stone, the age was called Stone Age. Right? So it is the material which decides the norms, the quality, the distinction of a particular age. Then we come to the Bronze Age. Then we come to the Steel Age. And you go on. So the world, what we see, is made of materials. And if we are not excelling in materials, this means we are not living in our world. If it is medicine, it is material. If it is the human body, it is material. If it is your home, your outside environment, aerosol, dust particles, they are all materials, and you must excel in the materials of the time to excel in the world. So it is such an important discipline. And the world you see, my aim of telling all these things is this, that the world you see around you is basically the material you understand and the material you engineer. I will give you a brief history of education and materials, commercialization and institutionalization of materials. What do people look for? Properties, compositions, processing, vitreous ceramics, and overview of microwave dielectrics, and present work at Material Research Laboratory, Peshawar, and glimpses of new trends in research. This is the mankind in the BC. And they were behaving like animals in those days. So think about these things, that Allah has made you very distinct from the other animals, religiously as well as mentally. This is the prehistoric schools. University of Korean 859 was the first university on earth. Right? Jama al-Azhar was there from nearly 970 to 972, but it was given the university status. Your window lessons will expire soon. Okay. So it was given the university status in 1961, and the first university in Pakistan was the University of Punjab, which was established in 1882 during the British Empire. Humans started superior thinking. Wasum چې دا ساروی وګورئ او دی ودی نو یو سترګې غړېږي بلې پټې. They don't feel secure. And when men learned to make his or her room in a stone and put a rock in front of it and felt safe, they learned sound sleep. And that sound sleep make his thinking level superior. کدا تجربه کوئ یو دریش پی مسمله تاسو به لیونی سوچ به هم سر ته راځي خو ایسارېدی به نه شي. مینې خوب د لیوني کړمه زه راځم ډېر خو د راتلو سره ځم. You will not be a stable-minded person. First agricultural revolution, it is 10,000 BC. About 12,000 years ago. Second agricultural revolution, 8th to 13th century in the Arab world, then 1750 to 98th centuries in the British, and the speed of moving that revolution was so small that it was so slow that it took many years to cross the border from England to Scotland. It was so slow. Today when something happens in America, it comes tomorrow to my country. But due to the telecommunication problem, the communication problem, the speeds were very slow. We adopted agriculture revolution. And what does it mean to adopt a revolution? Your thinking, natural aptitude becomes consistent with that revolution. Now look into it. A farmer needed a machine for taking out of water, now out of well. And your local carpenter, lumberman, tarkan could build a rahat for you in your mahalla even, not village. You needed sickle and hoe and different tools for agriculture. They were made in your street. You didn't have to go to the road. You needed ropes. When your elder used to sit in hujra in the evening, they used to be making ropes and different things for daily use. Your mother used to make sweaters and different things for you. The own was your own. The food was your own. The oil was your own. The fuel was your own. Everything was within your village and you were self-sufficient. And you were ruling the world. But when the Industrial Revolution came and we didn't adopt that, this is the main reason for our economic failure. So, if you want to stand shoulder by shoulder with the developed world, you will have to be hardworking. You will have to learn what the modern world needs to know. This is not a honor that if somebody does it and you do it tomorrow, you will be the follower and they will be the leaders. But when they are sleeping and you do something, there you will be the leader and they will be the followers. And this is what happening in the practical world. زه ماشومانو ته یو ساده خبره کوم چې تاسو دورونه یا دوه خویندې یو د کار دی او بل بیکاره دی ستاسو پلار او مور به کم یو ته زیات لیفت ورکوي، کم یو ته به زیات هانر ورکوي، که څوک کار کوي نو بیا په دغه تله کې ځان وتلی نورو قومونو سره. This is the main reason of our economic failure. This is just the history. When people started to make materials, Chinese were leading in the clay-based products, and that is why you are still calling the dinner sets, the tea sets as Chinese set, which are made of Chinese porcelain. And there have been two most influential revolutions in human history. The first was when Chinese learned how to transform clay into white pot. The human beings and the animals used to drink water from the ponds in the same way, but when that pot was developed, invented, we started to drink in a different way than the animals. It was a very big revolution. This part was used for storing grains. This part was used for storing water. And the human life changed with that Chinese discovery of heat treating clay and made it hard according to the desired shape, impermeable, so that water cannot filter through it, couldn't filter through it, and chemically resistant, that the food is not reacting with the body of the pot. That was the most influential revolution in material science. And the figurines and these things started in 27,000 BC. This is archaeology. But only Chinese knew the skill to turn the color to white. The most important thing is commercialization and institutionalization. تاسو جوانوا پیژنئ؟ جوانوا یو بوټی دی د شړشم په شان دی خو هغه بوټی دی ځنګلي بوټی دی. People don't grow it. بس دا بیا ځان له وګورئ. That plant, 100 grams of that plant is £1.50 in UK markets. £1.50 for 100 grams. او زمون په کور کې نیچرلی دومره کیږي چې تقریبا که مونږ یې ټول سیف کړو زمون د یو کال سلاد پې کیږي. Right? This is commercialization and non-commercialization. We cannot offer even that to our animals. And the developed countries are commercializing it. So commercialization is the most important thing. If you go on the internet and what Lord Macaulay said, that the people of subcontinent are very, very rich. They are very well dressed and well fed. They do justice of murder cases in 5 minutes. They don't need the judges of Supreme Court or High Court or lawyers, but they sit under a tree and decide the cases. These were your uniquenesses that make this culture insulting in their own eyes, and you will rule them for centuries. We couldn't commercialize anything so far, and that is why we are backward. What is material science? We are taking the property, right? Property is share. They don't worry. This water was external stimulus. and this was the property of this cloth to get wet. So the response of a material to an external stimulus is its property, right? The response of a material to external stimulus is its property. That property can be putting water on your cloth. That property can be applying a field to a material. Applying a field to a material, and the behavior of the material in response to that is its property. If the field is not there and the property is there, F is a function of R. If R is 0 and F is still F naught, we call it the intrinsic property of that material.